Very good morning. This presentation is brought to you by Resonate International with a mission to leverage knowledge worldwide. The topic being covered is Unmasking the Global Financial Reality, an urgent call for fiscal responsibility and conscious intervention by every nation to help their citizenry survive well and thrive greatly. Three key parameters of financial health. 1. Total debt, that is borrowings including interest. Second, debt to GDP ratio, that is the ability or inability to service the accumulated debt sustainably. And third, the inflation, which is year over year erosion of the purchasing power. All these three directly and indirectly impact not only every nation's international sovereign financial status and strength, but also translate down right up to the well-being of its citizenry. The $307 trillion global debt as it stands now, up from $255 trillion pre-COVID pandemic level. Debt to GDP ratio of 350% now, up from 226% pre-pandemic level against a normal recommended level of 60% generally, and a global inflation at 6.9% against 3.5% pre-pandemic level. All these reflect a great concern on the quality of fiscal management being exercised at national and international levels, particularly on rising borrowings by the governments and erosion of purchasing power in the hands of public due to pressure of inflation. The high level of debt GDP ratio, if unsustainable, simply points to higher sovereign default risk and its cascading well-known effects all through the financial system, outside and within the concerned nation. Undoubtedly from above, the debt emerges as a key area of attention. Breaking down thus the global debt into its various constituents or components for better understanding is thus vital. Today, the global borrowings by the governments stand at $92 trillion, up from $70 trillion. The corporate debt at $85 trillion, up from $75 trillion. Household debt at $55 trillion, up from $47 trillion. Financial sector debt at $6 trillion, up from $5 trillion. And emerging market debt at $30 trillion, up from $25 trillion. This comparison is to give a glimpse between pre and post pandemic situation. While the COVID pandemic certainly led to debt ballooning as nations struggled and stumbled, and rightly, to cope up with the unprecedented challenge at hand for any government in modern history, it will be unfair also to say that the pre-pandemic situation was any better. The balloon was already inflated on all above three critical factors of economic health. This balloon got further inflated during the pandemic. Unfortunately, even now, the unplanned overspending and lack of financial discipline in many nations is seriously compromising their economic health, with large income going in servicing the interest or debt only, thus compromising their ability to public funding and helping their citizenry who suffered more during the pandemic as their livelihoods were lost and normal life was disrupted all over. And all this is a matter of serious concern in this interconnected world of today, where nations are becoming more and more unequal, and same way such financial inequality is seeping into the society, causing public discontent and hardship. Just to elaborate on above, the pandemic caused a spike in non-performing assets due to economic disruptions, lockdowns, and the inability of businesses and individuals to meet their debt obligations. The pandemic led to a substantial increase in loan write-offs as businesses, especially in sectors like travel, hospitality, and retail, defaulted on their loans. Many financial institutions were forced to write off significant amounts of loans, particularly in 2020 and 2021, as economic activities nosedived. In many developing nations, NPAs at present exceed 20% of the given loan amount. As per published estimates, the likelihood of loan defaults increased by 2.5 times in the post-pandemic period compared to pre-pandemic period. There is another aspect to above, that is, in pre-pandemic time, there were 2100 billionaires globally with a combined wealth of about $8.5 trillion. Post-pandemic, this number has grown to 2640, with wealth accounting to $13.1 trillion. On the other hand, the global per capita income pre-pandemic time was $11,500, and it has declined post-pandemic to a level of $10,800. The above reflects the sharp rise in the number of billionaires, their wealth during the pandemic starkly contrasts with the decline in global per capita income. This divergence highlights growing inequality, where the wealthiest benefit from the market recoveries and economic policies favoring asset owners, while the broader population faced job losses, wage stagnation, and reduced economic opportunities. This growing disparity underscores the need for policies that address wealth concentration and promote inclusive economic growth, ensuring that the benefits of recovery are more equally shared. The world's largest economies, such as the US, China, Japan, Germany, and the UK, are at the forefront of the above visible crisis. Overspending and escalating debt burdens are having far-reaching consequences on these nations' financial health and the well-being of their citizens as a resultant. Let's look at the top 11 economies of this world individually to take appropriate lessons which could be helpful to each other and the rest of the world. United States. The US debt has ballooned to over $33 trillion with a debt to GDP ratio exceeding under 20%. Rising interest payments projected to reach $1 trillion annually by 2030, are crowding out essential public services and investment in infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Citizens face higher taxes, reduced benefits, and growing income inequality. Inflation has grown from 1.8% pre-pandemic to 3.2% now. China's debt has surged to over $14 trillion, with state-owned enterprises and local governments accumulating unsustainable levels of debt. This has led to a real estate crisis and slowed economic growth, directly impacting the middle class, which now faces declining job prospects and diminished wealth. Inflation has come down, however, from 2.9% pre-pandemic to 0.5% now. Japan, with a debt of $11.2 trillion, a debt to GDP ratio of over 260%, now having risen from 238% pre-pandemic level, and inflation of 2.8% with respect to 0.5% pre-pandemic level. Japan's financial future is visibly uncertain. The country spends nearly a quarter of its budget on servicing debt, leading to cuts in social programs and an aging population facing inadequate healthcare and pensions. Germany, despite its reputation for fiscal discipline, Germany's debt levels have risen to 2.6 trillion euros, driven by energy subsidies and pandemic-related spending. The burden is shifting to taxpayers and the next generation, with concerns about long-term competitiveness and social stability. Inflation has grown from 1.4% to 1.9% between pre-pandemic and post-pandemic situations. India's total debt is estimated to be over $3.9 trillion. Debt to GDP ratio hovers around 90%, up from 72% in pre-pandemic time, fueled by subsidies, defense spending, and welfare programs. As per published data, the suggested level for India is 60% for center and 20% for states. While center has done commendably well, each state's own financial situation needs a close introspection. This debt burden limits the government's ability to invest in critical areas such as infrastructure, education, and healthcare, impacting economic growth and the aspirations of its young population. Inflation has fortunately come down slightly from 3.7% pre-pandemic to 3.4% now. United Kingdom, the UK's public debt has exceeded £2.5 trillion, with rising interest costs limiting fiscal flexibility. The austerity measures of the past are being revisited, affecting public services and leading to widespread dissatisfaction among citizens. Inflation has grown from 1.8% pre-pandemic to 2.6% now. France's debt stands at over 3 trillion euros, with a debt to GDP ratio of around 115%. Public discontent is growing as the government grapples with pension reforms and tax hikes, leading to social unrest. Inflation has grown from 1.3% pre-pandemic to 1.9% now. Brazil's debt has surpassed 1.7 trillion US dollars, driven by a combination of populist policies and weak economic growth. The burden falls on lower income groups, accelerating inequality and stalling poverty reduction efforts. Italy's debt stands at over $3 trillion. Debt to GDP ratio has reached 145% from 135% pre-pandemic, making it one of the most indebted countries in Europe. High debt servicing costs are limiting the government's ability to invest in economic recovery and social welfare, contributing to rising unemployment and social unrest. Inflation has grown from 0.6% pre-pandemic to 1.1% now. Canada's debt has risen to 1.3 trillion Canadian dollars, with pandemic-related spending and housing market vulnerabilities posing risks. Citizens are facing rising costs of living, stagnating wages, and a shrinking middle class. Inflation has grown from 1.9% pre-pandemic to 2.5% now. South Korea's debt stands at 1.9 trillion US dollars. Debt to GDP ratio has risen from 41% in 2019, that is pre-pandemic level, to approximately 55% now. While lower than other top economies, rising welfare costs and economic challenges pose risks to fiscal stability. The inflation was 0.4% in pre-pandemic time, which stands now at 2.3%. Australia. The debt stands at 850 billion Australian dollars, which is equivalent to 1.3 trillion US dollars. Debt to GDP ratio has grown from 42% to about 62% between pre and post pandemic periods, while inflation rate has climbed from 1.6% pre-pandemic time to 5 to 6% now. All this reflects Australia, like many developed economies, saw a surge in national debt as a direct consequence of unprecedented fiscal measures to support businesses, individuals, and healthcare during the pandemic. Balancing debt management while controlling inflation without stifling growth will be critical for Australia's economic policy makers in the coming years. The rising debt levels in these top economies send a clear and loud message to the rest of the world. Economic management and monetary policy discipline are critical. Nations must focus on long-term sustainability rather than short-term gains, balancing growth with fiscal responsibility. Governments should avoid excessive borrowing and ensure that spending aligns with economic capacity. Strong monetary policies coupled with prudent financial management are essential to avoid the debt traps that have ensnared even the most powerful economies. Countries like Ghana, Sri Lanka, Zambia, Pakistan, Argentina are examples of how debt crises can have widespread and severe impacts on a nation's economy and society. This has political ramifications too. It is important for each nation, therefore, to know if its debt is sustainable or not. While this depends on the interest rate on debt, economic growth, fiscal policies, and the composition of the debt, for example, internal, external, each nation's capacity to manage debt varies widely. Factors like economic structure, political stability, access to capital markets, and fiscal discipline all play crucial roles. But taking an assessment is critical and crucial both. What is the way forward for nations? To mitigate the rising debt crisis, nations must adopt a multi-pronged strategy. Governments, policymakers, and international institutions must collaborate to address the debt situation. The objective must be to restore fiscal health and discipline, reduce economic inequality as a priority through policy framework and reforms, and undertake sustainable projects for growth and development. The role of international bodies becomes very important. They need to improve their impact. They must prioritize tailored solutions that consider the unique economic contexts of each nation. They should encourage sustainable growth. By learning from the mistakes of others, nations can secure a prosperous future for their citizens. The time for action was actually yesterday. However, let an action begin now to ensure that the current generation not only survives well, but thrives also, and the next generation inherits a world of financial stability and not debt. Good luck, best wishes, and thank you very much.